Oh my gosh, this is a terrible angle to film, but hello. I just wanted to tell you that I am finally starting The Return of the King, the third book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I am so very excited because the last one stopped at a cliffhanger where Frodo was captured by the orcs, and Sam has the ring, and oh my lord, where is this going? Because I have recently watched the Two Tower movie with my boyfriend just to compare it with the book, and it has nothing to do with it almost, pretty much. Like the plot is basically the same, but with so many changes to what happens to the characters that I am stoked. So I really want to see where this is going, and yeah, I'm going to read a little bit before going to work. So I have my book and I have my chocolate. And yeah, I'm trying to read just a chapter before going to work because I have to work. So yeah, starting the Return of the King vlog. Yay! So this is my teddy bear. Say hi. And I just wanted to say that I love the Shield Maiden of Rowan. Like, Eowyn is just incredible. She's such a strong lady. I would really love to be like her. I just read the part where she says goodbye to Aragorn when he goes to the path of the dead. With Legolas and Gimli. He has such a big nose. And it was great. I loved it. It was very intense. And in the book you don't have all of the parts of Aragorn and the elf princess. So I'm kind of shipping him with Eowyn, the Shield Maiden. And yeah, I've only read 60 pages in 2 days or 3 or 4, whatever. So yeah, I have to read a little bit more. But now I have to sleep because I am really tired. So, bye-bye guys. So, welcome to I should have updated you sooner, but I didn't part of my vlog for the third part of Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. And I am now currently at page 128. No, wait. 29. So I am fairly well advanced as of the last time that I talked with you guys. So I just wanted to talk about some of the things that I've been reading. Right now the part that I am at is the part where Gondor is being attacked by the orcs and the Nazguls and everyone else, let's just be honest. And Gandalf is there with Pippin, and Merry is with Theoden, or whatever his name is, the Rowan king, you know. Yeah, so Theoden and the Rowans are trying to get to Gondor to help them, but they are kind of a little bit too little too late because they are already being attacked. And Gandalf is leading the troops because Faramir, for some reason, just got poisoned by a dart or something, and I don't really know how that happened. But his father just completely lost his shit, and now he wants to be burned alive with his son, and he just went like, oh, I don't give a fuck about Gondor. Gondor is already dead, so just burn us alive when you can, no rush. And if Gandalf says to you to do something, just go and do something, because now he's in charge, because I don't care about my city anymore. And that was strange. And at the same time, Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli just went to the path of the dead, or however you translate that, and it was pretty epic the way he called upon the dead spirits to just get up and fight with him. It was pretty epic. I enjoyed it. What I didn't enjoy was, well, Gandalf is always epic, okay? But he's always being portrayed as the dude dressed in white that is sitting on top of the white horse. Does he do anything else? I know that he's fighting the Nazguls and he's the
like the remaining force of Gondor that is actually doing something, because the rest of Gondor is like screaming and just running away from the flames. But does he get up from that horse anytime? Because he's always portrayed as being sitting in the freaking horse. Like, does he do anything else? Please, just... Oh, sorry, I know that I'm just rambling, but I really love Gandalf, and I think that he's an epic character, so he should do a little bit more epic proportionate things, if you know what I mean. Also, I already read the part where we find out that Eowyn was in disguise and she went to the battle, and she kills the Nazgul king when he's killing Theoden, the king of the Rowans. And it was so amazing. Like, he said nothing... It was something in the ways of nothing held by men or created by men can kill me. And she goes like, well, I'm not a man, so tough luck, bitch. And she just tries to kill him, and Merry helps because Merry was there. He was really afraid, but he helped, he did something. And Pippin is always trying to help the Faramir and the Lord of Gondor, because he's not a king, the Lord of Gondor, to try and survive this. He's finding a doctor for Faramir, and Eowyn has a broken arm and possibly some broken ribs because of the accident with the Nazgul king, but he's dead, so that's fine. And Merry played an important part. I am kind of sad to see the king of the Rowan people die, because he was pretty awesome. In the movie, he was not that awesome. I watched The Two Towers recently, as I probably already said, and he was not that great. He was like a little whiny bitch, just caring about his power and his things, and in here, he's not like that. He's pretty epic. He's pretty cool. And I really enjoy that character, and I'm sad that he died already, because we are not even in the middle of the book. So he died pretty soon. And I don't know, I think that I just can't wait to see Aragorn rise with Legolas and Gimli and all of the dead spirits that he now commands. And I really want to see that. I don't know if you guys want to see that, but I want to see that. But I have to say that Tolkien was really cool in a way that in his time, let's just say, depicting a woman as a strong shield maiden warrior was pretty cool, and he gave her a big part in killing the Nazgul king. Like, she pretty much did it herself, but she got a little help from Merry, but that's because the hobbits are the main characters of Lord of the Rings, obviously. And that is pretty cool. Like, she's a badass woman. I loved reading that, and I think that she's great, and although she has a crush on Aragorn, and I'm like, oh dear, that you chose, you shouldn't. But yeah, I am a little bit sad that we haven't heard about Frodo and Sam. Probably we'll only hear about them in the end of the book. But Frodo has now been captured by the orcs in the end of the Two Towers, and Sam has the ring, and he went after them. And can it possibly get worse? Because let's face it, it's not great. So, I don't know, for now it seems like Gondor is kind of sort of winning, but at the same time sort of losing. So, I don't know, I know the ending to this, obviously, but I don't know how this is going to be turned around. I'm completely desperate, which is stupid because I already know that this is going to end well, in a way. But yeah, I don't know. I will just proceed reading and see what I can get from this.
I had to stop reading for a little bit because I had to comment this with you guys. And I know I don't have the best face because I have been working late this weekend. So bear with me the fact that I look like I haven't slept in days. But Faramir's and Boromir's dad just killed himself in a huge fire that he created. My face while reading this scene was like, why though? Because I understand that he kind of got desperate when he saw that his son was dying, poisoned and with fever, and he kind of got desperate. And maybe he's sort of possessed by Sauron because he has one of those stones where you can see what is going on in the world and Sauron controls them. But shit, bro, that was way too extreme. Like, that escalated fairly quickly. Like, what happened? And, you know, we just have this part when Tolkien says that, the dude just screamed and he never talked again and he was never seen by a mortal man ever again. And I just thought that, well, he died by fire. I'm sorry, I saw a bug in the window and I was like... Okay, so, as I was saying, he died by fire, and we all know that Sauron has a fiery eye, so maybe it's connected with fire and he kind of grabbed Denethor's soul. I don't know, I'm just conjecturing here. And or he turned into a sort of a ghoulish ghost presence because he died in such a terrible way and he didn't fulfill his duty. I don't know. This part was very confusing. I was like, Tolkien, were you on acid while you were writing this? Like, why? Why did you need to write this? But I think with him out of the way, things will get better in a way because Gandalf will finally be able to just lead everyone without having him just being there and fucking everything up. And I think that Pippin did a good job telling Gandalf what was going on, because if not, Faramir would have burned to death, and I don't remember if he recovers or not. I am not sure, so I guess I shall read to see, right? So he did have contact with Sauron through the freaking stone. Like, why do these people have these things that they know they can't control and they use them? Why, though? I can understand the appeal to know what's going on in the world and to know what your enemy is doing, but no, you're a human being, you're fragile, you don't have any power, and even if you had, you can be corrupted. Just don't use those things. Like, these trilogy is just such an awareness to greed that it blows my mind. So as you can probably see, I am inside my bed. This is my bed, my blanket, and I am terribly tired. I don't know if you can see, but I have not been sleeping that well. I have been doing my part-time job, and it's pretty tiresome, so I haven't read much. But I'm already on page 200 and something of The Return of the King. So that's cool. I've already been through the part where Aragorn just saved Gondor. Finally, I was like, is Gondor going down? I don't remember this in the movies. But Aragorn saved everyone. And he brought an army and ships to the fight, and he saved them all. And now he's leading the attack onto Mordor, precisely to the door of Mordor, because they are trying to deflect Sauron's attention from Frodo and Sam, and they still have the ring. And right now, we are following two different points of view, in which one is the point of view of Aragorn and Gandalf and Legolas and Gimli and everyone that's at the door, and they are being attacked by the forces of Mordor because Sauron made the trap for them. And when the doors opened, there was this giant army that just came out of nowhere, out of silence, and they are just fighting for their lives. And at the same time, we are following Sam and Frodo, because at the point where the second book finished, Sam was going to rescue Frodo from the orcs. And oh my god, is Sam such a sweet cinnamon roll. Like, he risked everything to go after Frodo. It was beautiful. And when he finds him, how does Frodo repay him? By telling him, give me my ring back, you thief. And you can all say, like, yes, it is the power of the ring, and Frodo is susceptible to the power of the ring, but god damn it, Sam has been with the ring inside Mordor for so long, and he's not susceptible to it. Like, he just feels it to be heavy, and he knows when not to use it, and he knows how to use it and when to use it. And he's just so smart and such a pure-hearted soul. Like, he always went after Frodo, and he had to fight orcs to do it. And I was so happy when he found Frodo and that reunion. And I have to say that Frodo is probably traumatized by now, which is not that great. And I feel sorry for him, I do. I feel like he has the weight of the world in his shoulders, literally. But I just love Sam more, and he's just so loyal. And the things that he faces for Frodo, I don't know if anyone will be able to face those things for anyone else. So, having that into account, I just love them. And I'm now at the part where they escaped finally. And Frodo is just being a whiny bitch, which I know that he got whipped, and I know that he got interrogated by orcs and wounded and psychologically injured and such, but he is still whining about stuff. And Sam is the one trying to keep things upbeat and smiling and always laughing and like, okay, we just need some water now, and Mr. Frodo, be careful with your shit. And this pains me to read, like, physically. And if I get to page 236 tonight, I would only have 100 pages left to read. So, I'm gonna read some more pages and see what I can get to. Then I have to sleep because I'm really tired. So, I'm going to finish this part here, okay? Have a good night. So, hello. I have my bed here right now. I am on my pajamas and I am on my kitchen. So this has everything to turn out great, hasn't it? So I read late last night a little bit more of The Lord of the Rings, and also a little bit in the afternoon before my rehearsals, and I just want to talk a little bit about it. What I read basically was all of the things that Sam and Frodo, all of the parts of Sam and Frodo until they get to the Mountain of Doom. It's not Mountain of Doom, it's Mountain of Doom, I don't know. I'm reading it in Portuguese, like, bear with me, I don't remember the terms. But, so I read all of their way, like when they escaped the orcs, and Sam being amazingly loyal to Frodo, just pushing him on and just always smiling and giving him all of his water and all of his food and just making him get there. It was beautiful, just amazing. It was such a pain to read that, actually, but at the same time I really enjoyed it because you can see the value of that friendship and even of that love, you know. It doesn't have to be a love like, oh my god, I ship them, like I said in the last book. Of course I still do, but it is a more profound, more deep, oh, my toasts are ready, more deep kind of love, you know, like, they love each other in a way, and it's very beautiful to see that depict in Lord of the Rings because it kind of calls you into what social relationships should be instead of some things that they are right now, and I really enjoyed reading that. I really enjoy reading all the honor and the sympathy and the loyalty that all of his characters mostly have with one another, because I think that that's how it should be in society and not how it is, actually. So yeah, that's just a thought that I had in my head and now I got lost. So I just managed to burn my toasts. Amazing. But as I was saying, so I read all of that part, and so I kind of reached the ending in a way of the adventure. Oh god, sorry, I have to sit down. So I kind of reached the end of the adventure, and it was pretty intense, actually. It made parallels to what was happening at the same time with the other people of the Fellowship. Like they were engaging in war with Mordor and Sauron. And at the same time, it told where they were. at that point. And all of the famine and all of the thirst and all of the things of the heart, let's just say, all of the sorrow and sadness that they had to face, only two small hobbits. It was just beautiful. And when they get there and Sam spares Gollum, it was a beautiful moment in my opinion, because Sam has an heart of gold, and that committing that act would not be Sam. He's not like that, and he would only do that to try and protect his master. And when he understood that Gollum was a pitiful creature that was not to fault, he just let him go, and it was so beautiful. And at the same way, of course, that hit him in the back because Gollum came back for his precious. But if he hadn't, though, Frodo will never be able to throw the ring. And I don't actually remember how this went in the movie, but Frodo going like, yeah, so I arrived here and I'm not going to throw the ring away, and putting on the ring, and the desperation of Sam. Like, he wanted to scream, but he couldn't because Gollum just tackled him as usual, and went for the ring. But he wanted to scream. He was like, why? Like, get rid of that, and I love you, and you're my master, you have to come back home and you have to get rid of that, that's our mission. And he was so betrayed in a way. Like, that guy endured so much betrayal in a way, because as Frodo was changing because of the ring, he got a little bit more egotistic and a little bit more hard to carry in a way, and Sam carried him on his back for him to fulfill his duty. Like, how powerfully amazing is that? Like, would you carry someone on your lap after you have not eaten or drink because of him throughout days? And he was heavy, of course, and yeah, I just, it was amazing. And yeah, so thanks to Gollum, the ring fell into the fires. So thank you, Gollum, for being there and saving the entire of the mission, which no one talks about. You know, I get a little bit angry because I know that Smeagol, or Gollum, or whatever you want to call him, he was kind of cursed in a way. He was only like that because of the ring. Like, he was an hobbit at one point, and although he might not be very nice of a hobbit, he was a creature that wasn't to fault for most of the things that happened. He was played as a pawn by the ring, and ultimately it was the means to destroy the ring. But no one ever fucking talks about how Gollum / Smeagol was the one that actually destroyed the ring. Partially because he didn't want to do it, and partially because he had to do it in a way. But nobody talks about that. Like, I read a little bit further, like when Aragorn finally conquers this kingdom, because all of the hosts of Mordor, when the ring is destroyed, like, they all go insane, they kill themselves or they run away, and they're easy prey. So it's basically conquered for everyone, so they didn't have to do a lot in that fight. Basically, it all came down to the ring being destroyed or not. If the ring wasn't destroyed, they would all perish. But then Aragorn gets the throne, and he sits Sam and Frodo together with him in the throne, because they are rescued by Gandalf, obviously. And he does that, and nobody talks about Gollum again, at least that I have read. I have to read still some 20 pages, so maybe they would talk about him, but no one talks about him. Like, they just accept the fact that they were amazing and the best, and Gollum was the one that actually did it. Because Frodo didn't want to do it, and Sam couldn't do it because he wasn't seeing where Frodo was. And I think it's a little bit unfair that you don't even mention to anyone that actually Gollum was the one that did it. Whatever you wanted it or not, that's not on point case. But I think it should be mentioned. Like, it wouldn't take the value of everything that they went through and everything that they did to get there. It wouldn't, because they were the brave ones and they were the ones that wanted to do that. But it would actually pinpoint kind of redemption arc to Gollum or Smeagol or whatever you want to do. Like, I know it wasn't his fault that the ring was destroyed, because he didn't want to destroy it, obviously, just wanted it for himself. But he did fall in with the ring, and he died a horrible death because of the ring. Like, all of his life he was cursed because of that fucking ring. Like, he deserves
to at least have someone said, look, it wasn't me who destroyed the ring, it was Gollum. Things happen like this, and I am sorry if I failed you. I don't think that Sam and Frodo failed them. I think that Frodo was just corrupted, as eventually it was going to happen. But I think it should have been mentioned. Like, I don't know, I pity Gollum so much, and I think if he was mentioned at least, that will take away some of the pain that was for me to just see him die so fast and never be mentioned again when he was such a great.
So I find it very strange that now they are doing their way back home, you know, like the return to the Shire. And so they go through the inn where they stayed in the Fellowship of the Ring, where they met Aragorn. And something is going on, like windows are shut in, like things are broken, people are in the street with bad eyes, and people go and sleep in the family house instead of in their job place. And I don't know what's going on. Is there a new evil? Like, what's going on in the Shire? I know that when they met Saruman on the road, he told them, like, he was a beggar, he was going away, and he told them, like, you will find the Shire different than when you came from there. And everyone was like, the fuck, Saruman? And now I'm starting to wonder if it didn't do anything with the last of his evil powers, you know, to the Shire to get revenge on the hobbits. And I am getting concerned because I don't remember any of this from the movie, and I thought that the adventure had finished, but I am still missing 30 pages or something of that. So what is going on? Is the Shire okay? Like, I love the Shire. You can't do anything to the Shire. What are you doing, Tolkien? So I don't really know what I'm reading right now. I reached the end of the book, and I'm like 10 pages away from the end. And right now, there was a major revolution in the Shire. Because apparently there was something wrong in there, like Saruman, I don't know how, got there before Frodo and Sam and Pippin and Merry got there, and he enslaved some of the hobbits, and he used some men to be evil to the hobbits, and sincerely, I can only think that this was the way that Tolkien had to actually tell people that industry and factories and everything is bad, because he just talks about chimneys and a lot of smoke and a lot of, well, places that weren't that great. And I don't really know how this happened. It kind of looks like a deviation from the story, but I think it's probably Tolkien's love for nature again, trying to say that just one person can do very wrong, and that industry is not wrong, is not right, I mean, and that we should be respectful for other things, and that a little people in a little community can rise if they only have someone to lead them. I think that's what I got from there. But it was a very strange ending. I don't believe that this was translated to the movies, which kind of makes sense. And it was very strange in a way. So, I don't know. I am very happy. And Saruman is dead. Like, how? How? It was so brutal and so, like, not... It was just really dark and brutal. Like, he got his throat cut out. And it was very graphic. I don't know, I'm used to this, but I wasn't expecting this from the Lord of the Rings. And yeah, so I'm going to read the last 10 pages, and I will update you maybe tomorrow when I do read them. So I finally finished The Return of the King. I finally finished The Lord of the Rings, and I am so happy. These 10 last pages were everything, and I loved it. I loved how Frodo I just couldn't get past what happened. I think it's a very accurate description of PTSD in a way, because we went through a lot. It was a big trauma, and I kind of like how everyone, Merry, Pippin, and Sam, are remembered in the Shire by things that they did, and not Frodo in a way. And he was kind of the supposed most important one. And then when he embarked in the boats with the elves and Gandalf, it was a beautiful moment. Sam, Merry, and Pippin went there to say goodbye, and it was beautiful. And I really love the fact that Sam is married with Rosie and he now has a daughter. I think it was a cute touch, although I will never stop shipping him with Frodo, so in that regard it was kind of sad. But yeah, I really loved this book. It was pretty amazing, and I hope I can do a non-spoiler review for it to post for you guys, but I really liked it. Although this ending was a little bit strange, but I guess that's what you get when you read The Lord of the Rings, so I am very happy about this. And now I'm going to sleep because, as it seems to be usual now, I have to wake up early tomorrow, so I hope you guys enjoy this vlog, and I'm going to finish it here. So I feel like because I am pretty much all the time tired and always able to film at night, you guys haven't understood a word of what I'm saying about The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. And I just have to say that I did love it. And the ending, as I was saying late last night, was a little bit strange because after everything was done, Frodo and Sam and Merry and Pippin, they got back to the Shire, and it was pretty strange because Saruman decided to just go to the Shire and just hire some bad guys and just, just destroy the Shire and turn it into something that you can say that looks a little bit like industry, and once again Tolkien is doing that thing that he does, it where nature is way more important and where he values nature instead of the industry, and I find that amazing, and I think it's a good social criticism, but it was very strange. I was not ready for that. I think they eliminated that in the movies, and I was like, what the fuck? And Saruman's ending was really gruesome and strange in a way. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I got semi-emotional when Frodo and Bilbo and Gandalf and Galadriel went to the port, to the ships, and Sam and Merry and Pippin just went there to say goodbye. I got a little bit emotional, but I didn't cry. This is the one and only Lord of the Rings book where I didn't cry, which is kind of strange because that's supposed to be the most emotional part of the thing. And although I've read everything now, I can't still decide if that is supposed to be a metaphor for death, the port and the transversing and everything, or if they just went to a place to rest, because for Bilbo, it's going to probably be a transversation to death, because he's going to die. But for Frodo, he's still fairly young, and I know he suffered a little. Okay, a lot. And he has this incurable disease of the shadow and everything, and he was hurt, and he still has nightmares, and he still goes through a lot because of what he went through, and other people found, like Merry and Pippin and Sam, they found things to do that just made them happier and just made them belong to the Shire again, but not Frodo. And I don't know, is this supposed, like the port and the going through the sea, is this supposed to be a metaphor for death, or is it supposed to be a metaphor for grieving or separation, or I'm still not quite sure. So I'm going to sit on that for a while and just think about that, because I really enjoyed the book, and I really enjoyed Lord of the Rings, and I'm sad that I haven't read it sooner, and I really enjoyed this book. I think that my favorite book was probably Two Towers, because everything was happening very fast, and
they were all separated, and it was very interesting and very dramatic in a way. I did like the first book, but it was like a setting book and it was a little bit slower. Of course, it had very important and epic parts, like the Mines of Moria were my favorite of them all. And I did enjoy this last one, but I think it wasn't, I mean, the suffering that Sam and Frodo went through, it was kind of hard to read about, but the climax of the story and the destruction of the ring happened so fast that it was just a little bit anticlimactic in a way. Like, you read about Gollum just falling and everything destroying in like 2 pages. And so that's probably why I enjoy The Two Towers more, because although it was fast-paced, you had to sit through stuff throughout a long time. But also this one is the shortest of them all, if you don't count the appendixes, of course. So that's probably the reason why I like The Two Towers more. But I did enjoy this ending. Although it kind of felt like we were all waiting for them to destroy the ring and nothing else to happen. But I did enjoy this ending, and I'm very happy that I read The Lord of the Rings. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do a non-spoiler review for this book, as I have done with all of them, and then I will try to post this one, and yeah, we will see how this is gonna go. I am very happy that I finally finished, and I can go to other books. Obviously, I'm going to read the appendixes of The Lord of the Rings and the Silmarillion when I am not doing another readathon, because it is currently April and I was supposed to be reading stuff for the Owls readathon, which I'm going to leave linked down below if you want to know what it is, but I'm not, because I'm finishing The Lord of the Rings. So I want to now give my full attention to different sorts of books, and then I will go back to The Lord of the Rings. And I was thinking about reading the Silmarillion first and then the appendixes for The Return of the King, because people told me that the Silmarillion explains a lot of things that maybe if I read it first, I won't need to read some of the appendixes in Lord of the Rings. So, we will see. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this vlog, and I'm very glad that you stood with me for this reading vlog of the entire trilogy. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and tell me down below what you thought of The Return of the King, if you want, and what's your favorite book of the Lord of the Rings series, if you want, and why. And that's going to be all for this vlog, so happy readings to you all, everybody. And I hope that you like my bedroom and all my plushies and some books, and yeah, that is my window. And the vlog is over now.